Welcome everyone, this is Real Republican News. I'm your host Jason Mariner. If you were watching Joe Biden speak to the country last night, you were either falling asleep or you were freaking out because you were actually paying attention to the things that he was saying. Now, number one, he made it abundantly clear to us that taxes are going to go through the roof and everything's going to get more expensive. I mean, we're already seeing it. You're paying more for gas. Things like lumber have gone through the roof. Food prices are up. And the only thing that we heard is that he's going to look to increase the minimum wage to $15 an hour. Now, the people that make less than minimum wage right now, or minimum wage right now, they're very happy about that if they're not looking at the bigger picture, which means if their wages go up by a few percentage points, but everything else increases in cost by like 30%, they're actually going to make less. It's going to be harder to survive. The general theme of what I heard is that the government's going to now be involved in every aspect of your life. Bigger government makes you smaller and less powerful as a people. And then, as Senator Cruz pointed out, which I, by the way, when this was said, turned to the person I was watching this address with and I said, "Did you catch that? He just said that we, the people, are the government." That's got to be the scariest thing any American's ever heard out of the mouth of a president, if you know anything about the Constitution or the Declaration of Independence, because the people are clearly separate from the government. If you're sitting there watching my video right now, you know damn well that you're not the government. And you should also be aware of the fact that the government derives its power from the consent of the governed. That's what it says in the Declaration of Independence. Let me decipher that. If they want to do something, they have to ask us. We have to approve of it. We put these people in office to serve us. They don't get to make the decisions. We get to approve of the decisions that they propose. But again, Joe Biden just said that we, the people, are the government. Those are words that people like Fidel Castro utter. Now, this is no call for revolution or violence, but it also does say in these documents that when things like this start to happen, it's the ability and right of the people, we the people, to do something about it, institute new change to ensure our future safety and happiness, things of that nature. Now, these videos are never a call for violence or action or anything like that, but you need to be very worried right now about your country because it is changing and it's changing fast, and we have a guy now, we don't know who's really controlling him, but what we do know is that it was just announced to the American public that we basically have a king, that we no longer have a governmental balance where we get to say yes if they propose something. We really no longer have a chance to decide, do we? Look at the voting bill that they're trying to pass. Federalize the electoral system? That's going to make things completely unfair. It's another way for them to hold on to power. Adding DC to the statehood. Another way to hold on to power forever. And then they are going after gun rights. That is the ultimate way to eliminate power from us, because as we all know, the Second Amendment is like really what is the guarantor of all of our other rights. You know, when Samuel Colt came out with the revolver, I think it was in 1813 or 14, right? They called it the Great Equalizer. What that meant was if you were a 90-pound woman or a 300-pound guy, if you both had a Colt revolver in your hand, the odds were even. That's what the Second Amendment is meant to do. It's meant to make the people just as powerful in terms of use of force, if necessary, as the government. Now again, there's no call to violence, none of this ever is, but our republic is in trouble. Democracy is in trouble. When you have a president that says we the people are the government, or however he put it, we've got big problems on our hands. I'm very concerned about the future of my children. I'm very concerned about my future. I'm very concerned about the future of your children. In fact, it wouldn't surprise me if I have to go defend liberty one of these days. So pay attention. Pay attention really, really hard. Read history. Why is it now that things all of a sudden have to change? Well, it's because every once in a while, evil people gain power. By whatever means, forget about the election, whether it cheated or not, whatever, however this happened, there's evil taking place in American government, and they seek to control every aspect of your life, no matter what. they're going to do nothing for you. They didn't mention the crisis at the border wall. They didn't mention how we're going to get our kids back to school. They didn't mention how we're going to get back to work as a nation. They didn't manage how we're going to recover from this pandemic. None of that was mentioned. The only thing that they mentioned is that they're going to do everything for you. I got to tell you, I don't want the government doing anything for me. I want them to keep the bad guys away from me, enforce reasonable laws, and stay small. Stay out of my life. I don't need you. I can make my own money. I can make my own decisions. America was founded on the basis that Americans are smart enough and moral enough to govern themselves and to discern right from wrong. We don't need the government telling us every 10 seconds what to do and when to do it, but that's what's going to happen. They're seeking to take that ability and that right away from us, our God-given rights, liberty. So be careful. Until next time, my name is Jason Mariner. I'm praying for you. I'm praying for our country. I'm praying that God helps us keep our Constitution and this nation intact. Because nothing's certain at this point. We do not have a government that represents the people.